Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my first impressions on the Monochrome Manga Club series reads for the month of November. So the Monochrome Manga Club is an in-real-life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble, where we read 2 first-in-a-series reads, and we're currently doing 2 full series reads. So our selections for the month of November were Volume 1 of Laid Back Camp by Afro. This one's published by Yen Press, rated teen. Volume 1 of Tokyo Aliens. This one is by Naoe, published by Square Enix Manga, rated older teen. And then our 2 series reads are Full Metal Alchemist. So we are reading volume 16, 17, and 18 this month by Hiromu Arakawa, published by Viz, rated teen. And then we read volumes 9 and 10 of Persona 4 by Shuji Sogabe and Atlas, published by Udon Entertainment, and I would say these would be older teen. So because Persona 4 and Full Metal are not first in a series selections, I will not be talking about these here. But if you'd like to hear my thoughts on these volumes, definitely check out my Thesis 19 Diaries, where I will be sharing my thoughts with you on these volumes there. So in this video, I will only be sharing with you my thoughts on Laid Back Camp and Tokyo Aliens. Now, both of these selections were recommendations by my manga club members, so it was really great that I could put in selections that they're really interested in reading, because that's a big part of having the manga club, is to make sure that the selections are something that your members want to read. And so they had suggested these volumes, and I was very happy that we could get those in. So let me tell you my thoughts on Laid Back Camp first. So Laid Back Camp wasn't one that was on my radar previously. I didn't think it was going to be one for me because it sounded really slice of life-ish, and that's not normally the type of thing that I enjoy. So in this volume, we meet first off our character here, whose name is Rin, I believe, yes. And she is doing a solo camping trip. She likes to do these solo camping trips. She just takes all of her stuff to a campsite, and then she camps out overnight. And while she is at this campsite, she meets Nadeshiko, who is this character here. And Nadeshiko has just moved to the area, and she really wanted to see Mount Fuji, and so she was there by herself. And she was basically taking a nap when Rin saw her the first time, and they end up bumping into each other later, and Nadeshiko is like freezing because it's turned to night, and she's hungry and she doesn't have any money or anything, and so Rin kind of like takes her under her wing and shares her campsite and her food and stuff, and they get to know each other. Well, turns out Nadeshiko is actually gonna go to Rin's school. So Nadeshiko starts school at Rin's school, and Nadeshiko finds the outdoor activities club, and they have aspirations to become a real club. They don't have enough members to do so, but they're like really into like trying to do outdoor activities, and they've never actually like really done anything because it was only 2 people. And so Nadeshiko brings all of her energy and her enthusiasm for camping to the club, and they start to form plans and get to go on their first outdoor camping trip. And Nadeshiko is trying to like get Rin to like join them, but Rin seems to like to only do her solo camping for the moment. And so that's kind of what this volume kind of entails. It just basically shows Rin doing a couple of different solo camping trips. It shows Nadeshiko getting to know the outdoor activities club and them learning how to like set up a tent and go camping, and, you know, getting ready for their first camping trip and all of that stuff. I think my daughter had said the author really took the title of the series seriously because this volume really felt laid back. Like, you didn't really need to put a lot of thought into it. You could just pretty much read and enjoy. And these girls are just having a real laid back time. I mean, it's all about enjoying kind of the area that you're at, Ren goes to a couple different campsites in this volume, and she outlines the differences in those campsites. Some of those campsites charge for you to have kindling for your fires. Some of the campsites don't allow you to have bonfires. And so you have to change up the types of things that you bring to a campsite. But also, it takes in like the types of views that you'd see and things like that. And there's a lot of like scenic appreciation that goes along with the camping. And it's just a real like laid back time. I really like the art style, but unfortunately the story wasn't gripping for me. There was nothing in it that makes me want to read anymore. It was enjoyable for me to read this volume. I enjoyed seeing the different sites, but I have no interest in camping, and so none of that interested me. I do have a little bit of interest in like seeing Rin probably joining the outdoor activities club. I think that's where this is going to go. At least that kind of feels like that's where it's going to go for right now. But Rin and Nadeshiko are so very different. It's just, it was nice to see them kind of get to know each other and just like hang out and stuff. So there's a little bit of interest for me there, but I don't think I need to read any more of this series. I might be convinced to watch an anime of this. I think there is one. But like it would be one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I just need something that I can just like put on and relax and not have to think about too much, type of thing. And there is definitely a time and place for that. But for me, there's nothing like grasping onto me to want to pick up another volume of this. It was interesting while I was reading it. It was, entertaining for the most part. But I feel like I spent enough time with these characters and I don't need to spend any more. Do you know what I mean? Enjoyable, but just not for me. So that was Laid Back Camp. Now our second volume, though, was more interesting for me. So that's Tokyo Aliens. So in this series, we're following a guy named Akira. And this character here is not Akira. I had thought that the character on the first volume was going to be our main character, but it is not. So anyway, Akira ends up going on a train one day, and he feels like he lucked out because the train car that he had entered was empty. And usually when he's trying to get on the train, it's like so packed. There are tons of people. Everybody's squished. And he's like, oh, I got really lucky. But on the other side of the train car that he's in are two people. And he recognizes one of them as his classmate. His classmate's name, I think, is Sho? Yes, it's Sho. And he is somebody that is very like good looking. Lots of people at the school find fascination with him, and he recognizes him at the end talking to this woman who turns out to be an alien. So Akira like comes to this realization that aliens are in existence, but not only that, he gets kidnapped by this alien. And so a bunch of things happen at one time. It's a little humorous, a little bit action-packed, I would say. And then as Akira is learning more and more about aliens being on Earth, he comes to realize that there might be a connection to all of the things that he's learning now to his father being killed in the line of duty. So this volume kind of follows him learning about a bunch of different things in regards to aliens being on Earth and kind of how all of that information changes the course of his life. So I really, really enjoyed this volume. It was definitely humorous at times. It was interesting. I thought it might have been a little bit too much sci-fi for me because I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but it ended up not being too much sci-fi for me. I ended up really enjoying all of the things about the aliens going on and secret organizations, and the mystery aspect is what I had predominantly thought was going to be the pull for me with this series. And while that is, there are other things in here that I'm very curious to see what will happen with. For example, the relationship between Akira and Shu. There are definite points in here where I thought there were going to be some BL undertones to this series, maybe some romance in the future. There just feels like there's something else behind Sho and Akira's relationship, or there might be going forward. There are definitely some questions that I have regarding Sho as a person and Akira. There's some questions I have in regards to the organization we get introduced to in this volume, and I am very, very interested to read more of this series. So I am looking forward to reading more of this. I did buy this when it came out, but I just never read it. It's been sitting on my shelf, and I'm so glad that my Monochrome Manga Club member did ask for this to be one of the selections that we would read and discuss, because I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be picking up more of the series and continuing on with it because it was really interesting. Definitely some heartwarming moments in there as well. Lots of questions to answer. And so, yes, very, very interested in this one. So that is my thoughts on our two first in a series selections. Like I said, if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on Full Metal or Persona, you can definitely do so in my Thesis 19 diaries for the week. So before I let you go, I do want to let you know what our December selections will be. So December is going to be a little bit heavier than our normal months, and you will find out why in a minute. But our first of the first in a series selections is going to be Mr. Villain's Day Off. This is by Yu Morikawa, published by Square Enix Manga, rated teen. So the back of this says, evil supervillains need self-care too. An intergalactic evil league seeks to take over the world and destroy humanity. One of its mysterious leaders, known only as the General, has two main weaknesses: delicious food and cute, fluffy panda bears. On this dastardly villain's precious days off from work, he heads to the zoo to gaze at the pandas. Their adorable faces just melt away all the stress of evil doing. But will his secret be jeopardized forever when a hero out to save the Earth catches him in the act? So I thought this was going to be super cute and maybe a little bit hilarious. And so, yes. And the panda is just so adorable. So I'm looking forward to this one. And then our other first in a series selection is actually another one that one of our Monochrome Manga Club members suggested. And that is going to be volume 1 of A Sign of Affection by Sue Morishita. And so this is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. So this is, Yuki is a college student who's into friends and fashion. She's also deaf. A chance meeting on a train leads to a serious crush, but can it grow into something more? Yuki, who's always been deaf, is used to communicating with sign language and her phone. But she's not used to English, so when a tourist from overseas asks for directions, she nearly panics until a handsome stranger steps in to help. His name is Itsuomi, and it turns out he's a friend of a friend. A charismatic globetrotter, Itsuomi speaks 3 languages, but he's never had a deaf friend. The two feel drawn to each other and plan a date on a romantic winter's night, but Yuki's friend is afraid that she might be setting herself up to get hurt. Could this be something real, or will these feelings melt away with the snow? So I've actually had this one on my radar for a while. I believe I have a few volumes of this. I think so. We did read Shortcake Cake Volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club, and I really enjoyed it. And so I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. It sounds like it's going to be a super sweet story. I do really enjoy Sue Morishita's art style as well, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. So on top of that, we will be doing our series reads, of course. So we will be continuing with Full Metal Alchemist, volumes 19, 20, and 21. So this is the 7th 3-in-1 edition that I have. Really, really enjoying this read. as I've said, every single month. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more into this series. And then, because we are almost at the end, we will be finishing up Persona 4 with volumes 11, 12, and 13. So that means that we will be finishing up this series in December, and we will be starting a new series read in January. As far as what that series will be, I still don't know. We are discussing it with my members, so I will have that for you in the next series first impressions video for the Monochrome Manga Club later in December. But I am really looking forward to finishing the series. I've been really enjoying reading this, even though I already have seen the anime adaptation and I have watched my daughter do some of the gameplay. It's just really, really interesting. I'm having a really great time hearing the members talk about it because a lot of them have also played the video game, and so they're all trying to figure out, which ending is gonna be shown in the manga and things like that, and I'm just really, really having a great time. So that is going to be awesome. I think this will be our third series completion for the Monochrome Manga Club this year, which is awesome. And so, yeah, that is everything that I have for you today. So let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these volumes and what you thought of them, but please no spoilers. Also, please let me know if you'd like to join us with any of these reads. As always, you can do so by either commenting down in the comment section of the video, or you can join our Discord where there are threads for every selection that we've had. All of that is linked down in the description box below. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me I think there's a panda, right? A panda emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.